we're going to talk about using the loans formula, and we're going to talk about it today in a step-by-step fashion. So if you don't have a calculator that you can plug everything in at one time, this video is for you. So first of all, what is the loan formula? Now this is the one we're going to use today. You can manipulate this to make it whatever you need it to be. But if we're going to find the monthly payment, so D is the monthly payment, P is the total amount of the loan. We know that R is going to be our annual percentage rate. N is the number of times compounded. Now, generally, when we're talking about loans, you pay those monthly, and therefore N will be 12. And T is always in years. So that is kind of just a breakdown. So the monthly payment is P times the rate divided by 12. All of that divided by 1 minus the grouping of 1 plus R over N raised to the negative N. Now, the big thing is you have to do the numerator, denominator, as separate pieces. Okay, so let's look at this example. I owe $35,000 in student loans. The interest rate is 5% over 15 years. What do we know? Okay, so first things first, I know that P is 35,000. I always know that N is 12 because I'm making monthly payments. The rate is 5% and T is 15. Highly recommend you always get yourselves your numbers. Now, this is going to be a multiple page problem because I'm going to write it out step by step. So first things first, let's plug in what we know. So my monthly payment is 35,000 times my rate over 12 all over 1 minus 1 plus the rate over 12 raised to the negative 12 times 15. Now, if you do have a calculator where you can plug all of this in at one time, this is what it would look at, okay? So you'd start with parenthesis 35,000 times 0.05 divided by 12, parenthesis, divided by, parenthesis, 1 minus, parenthesis, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, parenthesis, raised to, parenthesis, negative 12 times 15, parenthesis. Now, if you do it that, right, so this is how you would plug it in all at one time. With the parentheses, you have to have the parentheses because these keep all the numerator together, this keeps the denominator together, and then everything else is all about the order of operations. So if you do it that way, there you go. Now we can go through this step by step. Okay, so if you don't have a calculator that takes it all at one time, let's talk about what steps we would do first. Okay, so let's rewrite our formula real quick. And I'm a big fan of making sure we always have it written out because then it's easier to kind of figure out what's up. So I am a big fan of simplifying my exponents first, right? Order of operations, parentheses, exponents, all that. So let's just do exponents. The 15 times 12 gives us negative 180. So 35,000, 0.05 divided by 12. 1 minus parenthesis, 1 plus 0.05 over 12 raised to the negative 180. Okay, so that's my first step. Next step, well, I really need to separate the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so I guess step 1, I did the exponents. Step 2, I'm going to do the numerator. So I'm going to do this piece here. I'm just going to take 35,000 times 0.05 divided by 12. And that gives me 145.833333, and it just keeps going on and on and on. So I now have 145.833333, and you want to take it out as long as possible. And then we have 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12 to the negative 180. Okay, so now let's focus on the denominator. So are we on 3? We're going to focus on the denominator. Now, the denominator is kind of in two parts, so I'm going to do this part first. So in my calculator, I'm going to type 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, and you can put it just like that, that's fine. Then you're going to hit enter. Then after you get that answer, maybe let's back up. Depending on your calculator, I'm so sorry, let's do this a different way. So depending on your calculator, you might have to start with order of operations. So let's do the 0.05 divided by 12, hit enter, get yourself an answer. Then you're going to hit +1 and hit enter. And so then you're going to have a number. Then you're going to hit exponent. negative 180. Now your exponent button could also look like y to the x. Okay, so let's talk about what these numbers look like in your calculator. So when you type in 0.05 divided by 12, you get like 0.0041666 and then a 7. Then when I add 1, I should then get 1.004166667. And then when I raise that to the negative 180, the last piece here, I should get 0.47310315554. Something like that, okay? All right, so let's see what this gives us now. So I now have D equals 145.833, lots of threes. And in the denominator, I have 1 minus 0.47310315554. Okay, so we're on to step 4, which is still the denominator. So now I need to do this subtraction. So 1 minus that big honking answer. So now I have, in the numerator, 145.833333333 divided by 0.52689684446. Now, these don't end. Both the numerator and the denominator are going to keep going, and you want to take them out as far as possible. The farther you take them out, the more exact your answer. But when you get to a certain point, I guess it's kind of not close enough. Okay, so now, step 5, we can actually divide. So you type in this big number, division sign, this big number. So we are going to get to the nearest dollar, because we are finding the monthly payment, we get 276.78. And this, my friends, is the monthly payment. Now, if you remember, the question here said, what do we know? Based off of this $35,000 student loan balance, a 5% interest rate for 15 years, what do we know? So we know that the monthly payment would be $276.78. Well, we can find out other things as well. So if $276.78 is the monthly payment, well, think about what that means. That means I'm paying this much every month. That's 12 times in a year, and for 15 years. So if I take 276 times 12 times 15, because 12 months in a year, 15 years in my loan, my total payback, this is assuming I never make more than the minimum payment, I will make $49,820.40. Total payback. Well, if I borrowed, I borrowed $35,000 and I paid back $49,820.40, right? This is the payback. That means the difference between these two amounts is the interest. So if I take $49,820.40 and I subtract $35,000, that means over the course of 15 years, I am paying $14,820.40 in interest. Okay, so that's kind of the different things that you can learn about depending on the question and how it works.